Whew. Gimbals are great. That's it really. Let's talk about the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 4 months after its release. What's up everyone, I'm the Everyday Dad, and if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. You hear me talk about it all the time, but I absolutely love gimbals. That's just an objective fact. They are amazing and I never ever get sick of talking about them. And I really like cell phone cameras, so much so that I get yelled at in my comments all the times by people trying to convince me that cell phone cameras are not great, which, false, they're amazing. So cell phone gimbals are basically a perfect marriage of my two favorite things. And my favorite brand of gimbal right now is the DJI Osmo Mobile series. The Osmo Mobile 2 has basically been my side for the last 4 months constantly. I keep this in a pocket of my camera bag and it only comes out to recharge, which is probably a terrible life to have, being trapped in a camera bag. But it's there all the time. I always have this with me. Before we get too far into it, let's cover the basic specs of the Osmo Mobile 2 in case this is your very first video about it. And if so, welcome. The DJI Osmo Mobile 2 is a 3-axis cell phone gimbal. It has a maximum load capacity of 202 grams, and it has a built-in 2600 milliamp hour battery. It should get roughly 15 hours of use under ideal conditions according to the DJI website, and it should take about 2.5 hours to charge. And that's really it. There's not a lot spec-wise about cell phone gimbals. But anyway, let's talk about what I've found after the last 4 months. An additional quick note is when I started using this gimbal, I was rocking the iPhone 7 Plus, but since then I've transitioned over into a Samsung Galaxy S9, so my device usage isn't consistent over this whole period. But in that vein, one of the things that I really like, and this is about all cell phone gimbals, not necessarily just the Osmo Mobile 2, is they are crazy upgradable. Think about it. Think about it like camera lenses. The camera itself might go out of date, or a new version might be released, or Sony might finally give us a flip out screen, but instead of needing to buy all new lenses or a new gimbal, you just pop your phone into the gimbal and you've got a way better camera that's now stabilized. I mean, cell phones come out with new cameras every week it feels like. So cell phone gimbals are such a solid investment because you continue to upgrade the camera all the time. I also continue to like how light the Osmo Mobile 2 is. I've used more than a few other gimbals in the past months, and something I've missed every time I've moved or tried out another one is the lightness of the DJI offering. Now, this does mean that it's not as robust materials as I'd like, but you've got to cut somewhere, and I'm okay with where they cut. Now, I did like how the Osmo Mobile 1 felt way more high quality. The Osmo Mobile 2 is holding up way better than I thought it would. Another thing that I've really come to like is they moved the 1/4-inch tripod mount from the side to the bottom. And this lets you add monopods into the mix, and that lets you get really cool jib and crane type shots in a super portable package. Like, the versatility is unmatched. So it's awesome and perfect, and that's a wrap, right? We don't have to keep going, okay? See you guys next Monday, right? Well, there are some things that I don't like so much, and they could potentially be deal breakers for you, depending on what phone brand you use and depending on how you use your gimbal. Like I mentioned earlier, it does feel cheaper than previous models, so if you are very rough on your gear, that is 100% something that I'd keep in mind. I've never personally had an issue, but I could easily see one of these breaking when dropped. You're either gonna have to be easier on this, or you just gotta get used to the fact that it's not made of as durable materials. Something else after moving to an Android system is the app isn't the best. I really dislike how hard it is to pull the videos off of my phone. Now, the only way I found for this to work is to go into the settings and mess around with where it's saved. If you save it to the SD card, you can get your footage off. If you don't, then it's not gonna work, and that's pretty rough when it's so hard just to get the footage off. On the Apple app, it's easy. You just download it straight to your phone and you're good to go. Android is a little harder to use. And the thing that I really dislike, and this is more of a personal preference thing, but I liked the trigger on the front of the original Osmo. I thought it was a way better way to control the gimbal, and now we've got a hybrid menu option slash trigger. It might be a silly thing to complain about, but as the market for cell phone gimbals really tightens up, and it is really tightening up right now, little things like user experience is going to be a huge deal. So what, right? So after 4 months, do I still recommend the DJI Osmo Mobile 2? Absolutely. It's not the cheapest gimbal on the market, but it is reliable and easy to use, which is really all you can hope to get out of a cell phone gimbal. And though there are other gimbals with killer features, namely that wirelessly charging Moza Me, I still think the Osmo Mobile 2 is a great purchase. Thanks for watching.